Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Bettina, I come from Finland, and I represent a company called Edunation, this one here, and basically what we do is that we help universities in Finland internationalize and help them recruit international students, and basically we work within the student mobility. That's kind of our focus, and that's why I have one of our partner universities here with me today, or a representative, Ari-Pekka.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Excuse me. 他们用英文讲，大家听得懂吗？都英文听得懂吗？不行，可以吗？那我可能要稍微翻译一下，因为在座有人不太了解。You need to do interpretation. Okay. Not interpretation.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I'll just continue.
Okay, just continue.
Yeah. Okay, so the agenda for today is that I will be talking a little bit more generally about Finland and studies in Finland and why Finland is a good destination for students, and then I'll give over to Ari-Pekka here, who will introduce more in detail his university and the degrees.
Okay, Bettina 他等会要先介绍就是在芬兰念书的各种好处啊，它的特色啊，他为什么要去芬兰念书等等。然后呢，他等会会再把时间交给由那个Ari-Pekka来介绍学校的情况。
Yes. So a lot of the times when I visit different countries, the first and most often question I get asked is why students should consider Finland.
OK， 那个我去过很多地方，那通常我会被问到的第一个问题就是说，我为什么要去芬兰念书呢？
Yeah. So this slide is just to basically, in a nutshell, highlight some of the best points about Finland. So on the top line here we have different, well, you can't see the sources, but there are a lot of different rankings that Finland do very well in when it comes to education. So, yeah, yeah.
在这个图上就有跟大家分享到，大概有好几种原因哈，就是说可以去芬兰念书的理由。那当然这边有些字很小，就是说它的资料来源大家可能看不清楚，不过没有关系，他这里会稍微介绍一下，也在我们的那个黄色的单子上面有写到，好，大家也可以就近稍微看一下，好，那个是帮你们翻译成中文的，抱歉。
Yeah. But for example, according to Times Higher Education, they've ranked Finnish universities as the best in the world. According to the World Economic Forum, the universities in Finland actually has the second highest education performance. So this means that if you look at the delta of what actually the output and the input, Finnish university produces the best graduates in the world. And also, if you compare education in Finland to other OECD countries, Finland is also ranked as the #1 country.
OK， 前面这一排的话就是一些重要的指标，包括说泰晤士报的指标啦，或者说是世界经济组织的指标啊，或者是全球开发组织的指标啊，都讲到说芬兰的教育啊都是相当好的，相当有水准的。那特别是说从学生进去的情况跟他出来的情况来对照，最早是跟这个对照比啊，看到说他们的确是有非常好的一个成果。
Yeah, and the two other lines here is mainly about quality of life in Finland. So when you come to Finland as a student, it's a really nice place, first of all to live, but also to of course study. So for example, the United Nations, they ranked us last year as the happiest country in the world. But we're also, according to a German think tank, we're also the third socially just country in the world. So this means, for example, that everybody, no matter of their background, basically has the same opportunities in Finland. So it doesn't matter if you're Taiwanese or Finnish or American or whatnot, basically everybody has the same opportunities. And then Finland has also been ranked one of the safest countries, not only to travel to, but actually to live in. So it's a really safe destination to send your kids. As a woman, I can walk around in the middle of the night and nobody will like harass me, and we don't have any earthquakes or typhoons or tsunamis. So it's like there's literally nothing going on. Like.
好，看刚刚在笑，所以我不用翻译了。第二行的话就讲到生活指标了，生活指标，好比说他们被联合国被评定为是全球最快乐的国家，你知道。然后再的话是德国的智库在做评比的时候，他们是全世界的话也是相当好的，就排名第3，就是社会公益的一个国家。所以他不管说你是哪里来的人， 他们都一律平等对待。好，那再来的话就是全世界最安全的国家。那他们的话就是女生到晚上在路上走也不用担心会被骚扰啊怎样，然后又没有地震又没有台风又没有什么洪水啊什么的，所以非常安全的一个地区。
Yeah, and then although we're a very small population, the whole population of Finland is only 5.5 million, so like 1/4 of Taipei city. So again, very, very small. Or we're a large country, but little people, like few people. But we are actually, this is in 2018, we were ranked as the 4th most innovative country. So again, Finnish companies do very well. Unfortunately, we're not very good at bragging about how well our companies do, but we actually have some really cool inventions going on in Finland, and in most cases they're often like business-to-business products. So we don't, like a lot of the most well-known Finnish companies are not they don't do consumer products. So that's why like me and some other people don't actually know how well they do because they're not, often in the news, for example.
I see.
But then, if we look at our environment, Finland is actually also the greenest country in the world. So 80% of our country is basically forest. So again, there's a lot of space for everybody to walk around in. And because of course we have a lot of forest, not too many people, and not too like many large industries either, we actually have one of the best air quality in the world as well. So again, not too many people, a lot of forest, nice environment.
所以在脑海中可以浮现一个画面，就是说很广大的国家，但人口非常的少。它整个芬兰的地区大概差不多有5.5百万人口啊，就是说大概整个台湾人口大概1/4左右啊。但它被评定为就是说生活就是说是创新指数最高的国家之一哈。但是它很多产品都是所谓 就是公司对公司的那种 B to B 的产品。然后对于那种 consumer product 就是消费型的产品的话，就相对来讲比较少一点。那另外芬兰人也比较保守，他们不太会去对外就很夸大去做行销啊等等。所以一般世界上对他们来讲，好像一般世界的对芬兰的认识好像都比较没有太多的认识哈。那所以这也是为什么说他们现在的话，就是有些学校要集合起来一起来做行销的缘故哈。那再来的话就是他们国土广大，那些人口不是很多，包括说像那个。他们有80%的土地的话是绿地啊，所以这个地方的话空气品质非常的好。那个被评定为说是全世界空气品质最好的国家。也就是说，如果我们到芬兰去念书的话，我们很有可能念多久时间，你的肺部就得到多少时间的净化。Okay, go ahead.
Do we basically have audio here?
Audio?
Like to show a video or?
You have audio? Sure.
I mean, I can.
Go ahead. Just
like I thought it could be. Well, I can do it later also. Let's just continue instead. Yeah. This is just to basically point out Finland on the map of the world. So Finland is not as far away as people like to think. We are actually very well connected in the world. It takes basically 9.5 hours from or 10 hours from Taipei to fly to Finland, Helsinki. Helsinki has a lot of, or one of the most Asian connections of all the airports in Europe. We actually have a lot of direct flights to different Asian countries. So it's actually very easy to come from Taipei to Helsinki.
Okay. 主要从台北如果飞到赫尔辛基的话，就芬兰的首都。大概花大概9到10个小时左右。那通常我们是从香港转机了哈。那赫尔辛基的话，算是在欧陆来讲的话，算是一个很重要的一个转运站，因为它怎么样呢？刚好介于这个，你看这个整个欧洲当中的话，它是介于东欧跟西欧之间啊，算是一个非常大的一个 port。所以他们到这个全世界各地的话，大概有20几条航线到各个世界大都市啊都没有问题。所以它并不是我们想象的那么远，好像北欧是很遥远在天边啊什么的，但并不是那么远的地方。
Yeah, and Finland is also, of course, part of the European Union and the Schengen area, which means that when you are a student in Finland, you're also, or you can easily travel in the rest of Europe as well. So you're not stuck in Finland if you want to go on holiday, for example, somewhere else in Europe.
像我们芬兰的话，它本身也是申根国之一哈，也是欧盟的国家之一，所以呢，你像我们台湾到芬兰的话是不用签证的啊， 就是观光旅游，那你们就直接去就好了。然后呢，也可以因为申根国家的缘故呢，我们到其他的从芬兰当做一个轴心，我们到其他欧洲国家的话，也是直接就去了，不用签证就直接进去，是非常方便的一个地方。你不会觉得说好像去了芬兰就到了天边，然后就不知道跟哪个国家接壤，倒不会这样子，非常方便的地区。
Okay, so then let's move on to talking actually about what we're here today to talk about, the universities in Finland. So Finland actually has quite many universities, so 14 universities and 14 academic universities and 24 universities of applied sciences, so quite a lot of universities. Altogether, these universities have over 450 fully English degree programs. So all of these degree programs that we are here talking about today are actually conducted in English, so no need of the local language to study in Finland. Finnish universities do feature in many of the, again, as I said, top rankings, and some of the fields that Finnish universities perform particularly well in is, of course, engineering, science and technology, also education, and like life sciences, physical science, etc.
OK， 在芬兰的话，总共有大概差不多像这样数字的大学，大概就总共38所大学。但是最近的话，有2所大学合并在一起了，所以都少了一些。但大部分都是大概只有1所是私立的大学，其他都是公立的，就是国立大学。除了1所是赫尔辛基商学院，那是私立的以外，其他全都是公立的。那他们呢，也就是说都有开放一些，就是大部分的学校有开放一些所谓英语授课的课程。也就是说，当我们去芬兰上课的时候呢，上英语系上课的课程，我们就不需要学芬兰语的所以而且大部分的芬兰人对英文来讲都是相当的流利都可以沟通没有问题所以我们去上课的话就直接接轨直接用英文直接接轨。那再来的话就是他们的比较热门的科系的话，就是像所谓科技相关的科技工程相关的。然后，当然他们最近的话，在一些商管还有就是说像观光产业长照还有就是说健康照顾这些产业方面的话，也都慢慢的相当发达起来。
So basically in Finland we have two different type of universities. We have the research universities, basically research universities that offer bachelor, master, and PhD and above. And then we have the applied science universities that mainly focus on bachelor's and master degree programs. The biggest difference between these two types of universities is not the quality, they're equally good. In Finland we like to say that the best university is the nearest university, because all of them are public universities and they're basically funded by the government, so they're all equally good. The biggest difference between these two types of universities is that the academic universities are very theoretical and basically focused on creating researchers. That's their main goal. So they have a lot of big lectures, a lot of theory, and they hope, of course, that you will end up here somewhere as a professor or whatnot. Then we have the applied science universities that are more focused on actually teaching students skills that the employers look for. So if you basically want to be sure that you're employable, the applied science universities is a very good option for that. They do a lot of theory and project work, so they actually make sure that you can apply the skills and the theory that you learn to actual real world problems. So they do a lot of case work, for example, with local companies in the various different fields that they offer.
OK， 在芬兰大学呢，它分了2种大学，一个话就是所谓的一个研究型的大学，另外的话就是属于应用科学大学。那研究型大学的话，都这个是以大学研究所跟博士就是说它培养的目标是以研究人员为主就是说未来的话当这个比如说像一些专家或者说是 PhD 博士就是学者那一部分就是以学术型走。那另外的话就是所谓应用科学大学，应用科学大学的话就是说以这个未来就业导向，就是说 企业界工业界、企业界他们所需要的人才直接就可以投入就业的这一方面的来说所以他们的主要化是在大学跟硕士这个阶段那这两个品质呢，大家会想说，研究型的跟这个所谓这个应用科学的话，是不是研究型的品质比较好？实际上不是那么回事，最早是分工不同。就是说，如果我一辈子的目标就是想要当一个科学家想要当研究学者去教书等等，那我走这个所谓教学就是所谓研究型的路线去做研究去了。那如果说我的目标是投入产业界，目标就是就业去产业界发展去服务，然后呢把我们所学到的东西呢可以直接投入应用领域的话，那就是在这个所谓的应用科学这一方面就可以了。所以他们属于一个分工很明确的地方，不像我们就是说把所有大家都放在一起来比较，他们是各司其职各司其职，让他们的品质都是一样的好。为什么呢？因为都是政府办的，都是芬兰政府办的。那芬兰的话，它的教育的话，基本上我们刚刚看到它是没有，就是毋庸置疑，就是教育品质都是很好的地方那所以的话，只是说在于这样子不同分工的问题不同分工问题。那在应用科学大学的话，会比较多什么呢？就是说我们在课程内容的话，会多一些实作的领域，好比说我们有一些 internship， 会有一些这种就是实习，那这样子的学分会比较多一些
Yeah, and I would like to also point out here that it's completely normal that, for example, people who've done a general upper secondary education go to an applied science university, and when you have done your bachelor's in an applied science university, you can still go on to pursue your master's degree directly at a research university. So it's not like you start here and then you're stuck in this field or this line, but you can actually switch from here to here or here to here completely, because again the qualifications are the same, it's just that the focus of the studies is a bit different.
是在我们这个大学间，就是我们在高中念完之后进到大学，假如说我一开始想说我的目标是为了就业，为了实作等等的，然后我先进入了这个所谓应用科学大学。但我念一念，我觉得说我的兴趣不在此，我是想要做研究。我终于发现我的兴趣导向会希望做学者，我可以在这个阶段念完跳过去然后再继续往上念。那同样的，如果我一开始想说，我爸希望我去当学者我爸教书希望我当学者，那我也想要当书辈，我就去念这个所谓的研究型的大学。而且我念一念发现到说，我的兴趣还是在就业、实务操作这方面比较有兴趣。那我也可以从这边呢念完大学之后呢，再跳过来念这边的研究所也是可以的。所以它是两边是可以互换的并不会说我念了这个我就非得要一直往上念，或念这个就非得要一直往上念不可，它不会是这样子的所以是没有这个互相交换是没有问题的。
Okay, so then some general information about studying in Finland. So the tuition fees in Finland vary quite a bit depending on the university that you're interested in and also the degree that you're looking for. But on average, the majority of the bachelor degrees, their tuition fees are somewhere in between 6,000 to 12,000 euros per year. And then for master degrees, of course, they're a bit more expensive because it's advanced studies. So they are on average somewhere between 10 to 15,000 euros.
所以说这边的话告诉各位一些有关在芬兰学习的指标那这边的话有提到说学费，那学费的话就是说看你念的课程内容包括说它的等级，或者说大学跟研究所它的学费，大学会比较便宜一点，研究所就相对贵一些，因为他们的设备器材跟师资是不太一样的。但是呢，他们每个学校的课程范围也是有一点差距，好比说不同的科系啦，不同的科系，或者是说不同的地区都会影响到学费，所以他们会有一个差距。但是这些费用的话，相对来讲都是比较便宜的地区从大学的话，从6000到12000欧元。那如果是硕士的话，是1万到15000欧元大概是这样子的情况。
Yeah, and the majority of the universities have this September intake. That's the most common intake, so that the studies start in September. More and more universities are, however, starting to have a January intake as well, so it's also possible more and more to start your studies in January.
OK， 在入学时间来讲，大部分的话都是9月入学但是目前开始的话，也有慢慢多一些学校开始也开放，就是1月份所谓的春季班入学，但大部分都还是9月份入学的。
Yes, and And a lot of the universities in Finland offer scholarships for international students. This also varies a lot depending on the university that you're interested in. Some universities, especially on bachelor level, they usually give out scholarships from the second year onwards, which means that the first year students have to pay 100% of the tuition fee, and then if they perform well, they can be eligible for a scholarship that can be anything between 20 to 50% of the tuition fee. And on master level, some universities also offer already from the first year if it's a 2-year program.
OK， 在那个奖学金方面的话，大部分学校都有提供奖学金哈。那以大学来讲的话呢，通常是第2年开始给。那第1年的话，先缴全额奖学金，然后呢看学生的表现，然后念得怎么样，然后来做第2年是不是给奖学金的依据。那最多的话可以给到50%，然后最少也有20%的学费。那如果是念研究所的话呢，它通常是有些学校也是第2年给，但如果有些学校他们是第1年就会给。
And the scholarships, some of the universities, like a lot of the times we, of course, our students also wonder how they can actually be eligible for the scholarships. So some of the universities, they only require that you complete a certain amount of credits or courses during the year, and that's how you become eligible for the scholarship. Other universities actually also look at your grades, so you need to complete a certain amount of courses and, of course, have a certain level of GPA to get the scholarship. But this also varies from university to university.
不同的学校会有不同的给奖学金的标准啊。那有些学校的话就是说，如果你念完了相当的学分数啊，他就给你奖学金了。那有些的话就是说，除了你要念完以外，还要看你的成绩啊。所以这一方面的事情的话，在那个申请学校的时候就要先了解一下，因为不同的学校有不同的给奖标准啊。
And international students in Finland are allowed to work 25 hours per week during the academic semester, and in the summer and winter holidays, you can actually work full-time, which is, of course, not only very nice because you actually can get those professional contacts already during your studies, but of course you can also actually save some money because the salaries in Finland are quite nice if you actually get a job, so always nice.
在就学期间的话，你最多可以打工，就是学生最多可以打工25个小时一个星期啊。这个的话，在跟其他国家相比的话，是相对来讲比较好的一个情况。那暑假跟寒假的话呢，可以全时间的工作是没有问题的。啊，那也有一些学生呢，他们就是可能在念书期间呢，就已经找到一些就是说正职的工作的 offer 啊。那这样的话，可能在对不起，应该讲说在念书过程当中，借着这样子的打工机会，找到未来正职工作的机会啊。所以这些都是很有可能发生的事情。好，那在芬兰打工的话，他们的薪水也相当的不错啊，所以可以对自己的生活费多一些补贴。
This is a little bit of repetition. So again, the main reason why you should consider Finland, we have really good academic quality at universities in Finland. We do particularly well in the STEM fields, which are the science, technology, engineering, math, and of course also like business. The tuition fees are still very affordable because all the universities are public universities, so the universities get money from elsewhere. They don't need to rip off the students, basically. We get money from the government instead. We also get a lot of questions about whether international students will be able to communicate with local people in Finland. And yes, they will, because Finland actually ranks as having the 6th best English in the world among non-native, non-native countries. So again, we start learning English when we are in 3rd grade, and we're a very small country, so everybody basically relies on knowing English, because otherwise we would be very secluded in the middle, like north of Europe. So basically everybody speaks English.
那前面这一张投影片的话，等于说把前面再做一个简单的总结哈。那第一个话就是说为什么要选择芬兰呢？再给大家做一个介绍。第一个话就是说它的全球的它教育品质的话，在全球来讲是相当优秀的啊，这个口碑来讲就相当不错。那第2点的话就是说，特别是在这个 STEM， 就是说科学、工程、技术跟数学这一方面的话，也是相当的优秀啊， 顶尖的哈。那这样的话，它的学费，特别是跟欧洲跟美国、英国、加拿大、澳洲比起来的话，它的学费相对低廉许多哈。那再来的话就是它的英语程度啊，接受程度的话，在全世界来讲还是相当的好。也就是说，因为他们人口并不是很多，如果他们只会讲芬兰语，不会讲英文，不会讲这种国际语言的话，他们就被局限在那个小小的地方啊，那就非常的对他们国家是相当不利啊。所以他们学英文基本上也是从小学3年级开始学起啊，并不是说幼稚园啊什么，就小3开始正式学习英文。但是他们的普遍性来讲，会比我们台湾好很多啊。我们台湾好像也是小3开始，小1开始了，哦天啊！好，但是他们那边英语化程度比我们高。打个比方，他们看卡通的话呢，他们的像我们台湾的英文卡通可能都翻译成中文了，但他们呢还是保留英文的声音啊，就是只是有一点英文的中文的翻译这样。来，请进。OK， 那这个是刚刚这前面的几点了，接下来 OK， go ahead.
Yes, and according to one of the latest student barometers done by the European Union on basically they look at how satisfied international students are when studying abroad in different European countries, and Finland actually had we had the second most happy or satisfied students in Finland, and some of the things that international students highlight when they rank Finland is, first of all, the academic quality. That's always the one that comes up as number one. Students tend to be very happy with their professors, the way they teach. The student-teacher ratio is very small in Finland. So that's one of the things. The second thing is the social aspect of studying in Finland. So all the universities in Finland have student unions that organizes a lot of different happenings for international students as well as the local students. So they organize like parties, they do different like events, they even organize some recruitment campaigns or stuff at the university campuses. They sometimes organize trips. For example, if you are in Helsinki, they can organize a trip to go skiing in the north of Finland. And of course, being a student, and the third thing that the most international students highlight in Finland is that it's actually quite affordable to be a student in Finland because a lot of the things are subsidized by the government. So you get subsidized food, you get subsidized transportation, you get subsidized gym memberships, like basically accommodation also. So that's some of the things that international students always talk about.
OK， 那很多国际学生会选择芬兰当做他们留学的首选。那主要的话，当然就是刚提到的那个教育品质是一回事情了。当然高等教育的那个教育品质啊，毋庸置疑。第二的话就是说，大部分都很喜欢在芬兰过学生生活啊，他们都非常的开心。不管是针对学校的老师啊、同学之间啊，或者是说学校社团活动啊等等啊，所以他们也是过得相当的开心啊。特别是说有许多的活动让他们去参加哈。那第三个的话就是说The third criteria. The affordability of. 就是说但是他们除了学费相对便宜之外，还有就是说他们在那边生活的费用啊，消费金额也相对低廉许多啊，这是学生呢大部分都可以花得起的地方啊。那特别说好比说在吃饭啊，或者说是交通费啊等等的许多地方的话，都是政府有补贴学生的啊。那所以呢，他们在消费方面的话，也是大部分学生都可以负担得起。
And the part-time and the scholarships you already talked about.
OK， 那这个刚刚工作跟奖学金刚刚已经讲过了，我们就先跳过。
Going too far now. This one.
OK.
Okay, so then what happens after graduation? Once you have graduated from a Finnish university, you can extend your student residence permit for 1 year to stay in Finland and look for a job. And at the moment, this is likely to be extended to 2 years because, again, Finland really needs more international talent because our companies need more employers. So the government is also supporting a lot the international students to stay back in Finland and work afterwards.
OK， 如果学生毕业之后会怎样呢？第一的话，在芬兰拿到学位之后呢，你的那个学生签证啊，你可以延长多1年啊来找工 工作啊，因为在芬兰那边的话，许多的企业都需要更多的优秀的人才啊。那好不容易在芬兰念毕业了，那就跑回去的话，对芬兰来讲算是一个资源的损失哈。所以他们就希望说这些人才可以留下来。那政府单位的话也设定了许多的优惠方式啊，就是鼓励国际学生可以留在芬兰继续发展。
Yeah, and some of the skill shortages that we at the moment have in Finland and will have in the next coming 5 to 10 years are especially IT, software engineers, data sciences, basically anything related to computers or software, big data, data analytics. All these topics are really hot in Finland because again we are a very ICT focused country and we have a lot of companies in that. And actually this year the technology industry of Finland, they estimated that by 2021 there would be over 53,000 available jobs in Finland within ICT only. So again, ICT is I can't stress how big industry it is in Finland, and there are so many job opportunities in this. So if you have any interest in IT or ICT or have any cousins or brothers, sisters, neighbors, please recommend them to come to Finland because they will have a job.
OK， 如果说你们有亲戚朋友啊，他们是就是说在这个工作是跟资通讯科技有关，跟电脑相关有关的话呢，都欢迎介绍到芬兰，因为他们那边非常需要这一方面的人才。好，他们目前好像说到2021年啊，需要有53,000 53000名的工作机会啊！天哪，就是给这个 IC， 就是跟电脑科技啊、资讯科技相关的人才啊，所以有这一方面的人才啊，欢迎多多引荐。
But also, for example, other engineering sectors or engineering fields like chemical industry, chemical engineers are always also in constant demand. Healthcare sector is another big industry in Finland. We are an aging population, and unfortunately, we don't make enough babies. So we need to also be able to take care of our elderly better. Construction engineering, and also tourism, hospitality management, and people who have degrees within tourism is also in big demand because Finnish tourism is on the big rise. In the last 5 years, tourism has been growing year on year in Finland, and last year Finnish tourism was one of the fastest growing in the whole European Union. And where does all the tourists come from? From Asia. So we need people who can speak Chinese and many other languages. So again, if you have any interest, in I don't know, travel or educational travel or beauty travel or medical travel, this is also very good, as well as normal tourism as well.
OK， 所以说除了 IT 就是通讯产业之外呢，像工程方面啊、化工啊、化学这一方面，还有就是说，因为芬兰他们有那种就是老龄化的趋势，所以针对高龄化的照顾方面的话，也相当需要人手的。那另外的话，像营建工程啊，还有观光产业，刚刚他特别强调说，观光产业在过去5年当中是芬兰成长最快速的产业。那在去年来讲的话，是全欧盟来讲，芬兰的旅游业是成长比例是第1名啊。那他们非常需要大量的这个对于各种不同的这个观光资源相关有兴趣的人力呢，到芬兰去发展，特别是会多国语言的，好像中文就是一个急需要的一个人手。
And this is just to give you an idea of some of starting salaries this is for master graduates this year in Finland. So one of the labor unions for technology graduates, basically the starting salaries for student or graduates in the field of technology had a starting salary of 3,740 euros this year, which is very high. I wish I had this salary. I don't. So I'm not an engineer, so I clearly chose the wrong field here. But they are also on comparing to other European countries, Finnish salaries for graduates, especially within engineering, is very big, or very high. But also business school graduates earn very well, as do nurses. Nurses, depending on their specialization, can get anything between 2,500 up.
这边的话是给各位一些，就是说毕业后，特别是说那个大学，就是那个 master， 就是硕士毕业之后的一个起薪啊，让各位可以看一下说，它的起薪范围都相当高，你乘以35，你乘以35就是针对台币，所以大部分都是在超过 台币大概差不多10万块以上，甚至到12万、13万都有这是一个月的月薪所以你可以看到说，如果你选对行业这些行业都是芬兰他们那边就是需求非常高的，并且就是说薪水非常好的行业那所以如果说去选校选系的话可以往未来就业方向去相结合
And also, whenever talking about salaries, of course, people are also interested in the taxes in Finland, because we get a lot of questions about how high are your taxes if your salaries are this high. So in Finland we have progressive taxes, which means that the more you earn, the more you pay. But basically for a salary around like 3,000 euros, I'd say the tax percentage would be like 25-ish, 25%, more or less. So again, within the European context, it's not very, very high. It's very much in line with other Scandinavian countries, as well as like Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, etc. So.
很多人会问到说，你赚那么多，那是不是税也会负担很多呢？那跟其他欧洲或北欧或者是西欧相比的话，芬兰的税制相对来讲还是算低的那差不多在3000块月薪3000块以上的税金的话，大概是25%左右。那他们采取渐进税率就是说你赚的越多，你配的越，就是说你付的税金就越多但是他们所付的话，大部分都转嫁在他们的一些公共投资上面的地方。
Okay, then we come to a fun slide. How many of these companies do you know any of these companies?
你们知道认识吗？其中哪一些你是比较看起来比较熟悉的有没有？
有。
Very good. So this is some of the biggest companies and famous companies in Finland as well. This is not a Finnish company, so this is not. But for example, Angry Birds is actually from Finland, although very few people unfortunately know it. Clash of Clans, which is made by Supercell, also comes from Finland, was later on sold to Japanese and then to Chinese and whatnot. But it's also from Finland, so game development is a very big industry in Finland. But also otherwise, again, like IT, ICT, F-Secure, one of the biggest cybersecurity companies in Europe, Linux and MySQL, also very worldwide famous companies. Both are from Finland, but we also have like Kone. Here is one of the largest manufacturers of escalators and elevators. Sorry, do you want to translate?
OK，像大家所认识的，像说愤怒鸟还有这个是什么？这个claim 就是所谓的那个，好像最近电视上也有一些广告，之前这些话都是游戏产业，但我们不知道都是我们在台湾看到过，但我不知道都是芬兰人发明的那像这个大家知道是什么吗 ？Linux 的话就是一个开放性的平台就是我们之前。会用到苹果或者说是像这个什么 Microsoft 但是这个的话就是所谓开放式软体，这个也是芬兰人发明的。那像这个的话就是所谓的资通讯产业的安全，就是资讯安全产业。那这个的话就是所谓 database 这一方面的。那这个是电梯公司，全世界最大的电梯公司，但很多都是企业对企业的，并不是民生用品，是工业用品。所以我们甚至于说芬兰人他们不太会做这个就是说做宣传所以很多人看到这些都以为说这可能老美，这可能日本人，但都不是，都是他们自己的，都是芬兰人发明的。
And actually, so Finnair here is our airline company from Finland. They fly over 250 flights a month to Asia, and what was it?
Seven different cities in mainland China.
Yeah, 7 different, only in mainland China, and then we
direct flights.
So again, it's very also big airline company within the Asian context. Then we have Suunto and Polar. Okay, yeah, Polar. They're both in like health technology. They actually Polar made the first ever fitness watch. So nowadays when people walk around with like Apple watches and stuff, Polar was actually the first one to make that very, very long time ago. So not the same. But actually also, so Rolls-Royce is of course not a Finnish company, but they, in 2018 January, they opened a research and development center in Finland for developing self-driving vessels or autonomous boats. So basically the future of maritime industry.
像刚刚他提到这两个产业，两个公司都是做那个 做那个健康产业的，那特别像这家的话是做那个运动用的那个智慧手表的哈，那算是全世界的发明，就是领先发明者之一哈。但是很多时候我们以为说是苹果电脑发明的，实际上是他们发明的。那再来的话，像刚提到 Finland 的话，一个礼拜它有250多个航班呢，就是飞到大陆。就是说以大陆来讲，他们有250多个航班飞到大陆，大概5个多7个城市，7个城市哈。那像我们从台湾去芬兰的话，我之前去就是去香港转机搭这个航空公司直飞到芬兰赫尔辛基。那另外像 Rolls-Royce 是英国的公司，航空大厂。那它在2015年也开了这个所谓研究中心在芬兰。那最主要的话是做那个自动化无人的那种船舶，就是无人驾驶的船啊，或者是说一些无人系统这样。那这也是可以看到说芬兰他们的高科技领域的话，在全世界都受到认可。
So yes, basically, as we saw on the previous slide, a lot of the companies that are big in Finland either belong to ICT, IT, digitalization, health and well-being, and especially health technologies are also a big field in Finland. Startup and gaming, also a huge industry in Finland, and actually in Europe, Finland has some of the most startups within gaming startups in Europe. And I already talked about travel as well. But then of course clean technology and bioeconomy is also two big industries in Finland because we want to take care of our nature because it's very important for Finnish people. We've always been surrounded by a lot of forest and lakes. Finland actually has over 188,000 lakes, I believe. So again, a lot of water, a lot of forest, and we want to keep it clean. So that's why clean technology is also very big in Finland.
OK， 所以他这边提到一些芬兰相关一些比较非常重要的产业，包括说像数位化的啊，或者说资通讯产业啊、健康照顾产业啊，还有说他们那个游戏产业是他们目前来讲欧洲新创公司就是说在游戏产业排名第一的就是芬兰。那再的话，刚刚提到说像旅游观光产业等等那最重要的话就是说他们在环保或者说是环境保护环境相关资源这一方面的话，也是相当受到重视的地方，因为他们最引以自豪的就是全世界最干净的环境。那怎么样去维护他们呢？包括说水资源啊、空气啦，还有他们的树林啊等等他们也相当投资了相当多的心力在这方面所以这些是他们所重视的产业。也就是说，如果我们去芬兰念书的话，可以以这些产业为一个标的物去做选择。
Okay, so then since we have a lot of universities in Finland, so obviously not all the undergraduate and postgraduate degrees are listed here, but this is just to give you some ideas of what you can actually study in Finland. So of course, international business is a very popular program in Finland. A lot of the universities offer this degree. Artificial intelligence and robotics, this is very up and coming. Within being offered in English. We have had these programs for a long time, but now they're also being offered in English, and Ari-Pekka will here tell you more about this. Again, information and communication technology, or IT, ICT, also again, a lot of opportunities in Finland for this. Hospitality management, as well as traditional engineering fields also. And the same goes for postgraduate, like engineering fields, business, MBAs, etc. can all be found in Finland.
OK， 这边的话列出来就是说大学跟研究所比较热门的科系在芬兰来讲的话那最重要的话，像说是那个国际企业这一方面的话是大部分的学校都有的相当受到重视的一个科系。那这个人工智慧跟自动化这一方面的话，他们开了很久了那他们是最近这1-2年才开放，就是说英语授课那再的话，刚刚资通讯产业这刚刚跟那个什么休闲产业啦、工程等等，是这也刚刚都提过了那在研究所这一方面的话，也是相对来讲，就是说在这个所谓的国际企业长照啦，就是健康照顾产业啦工程还有观光休闲产业软体科技这一方面，它都相当的就说这些科系的话，在芬兰都有提供那这些的话，就是说用英语授课的课这些都说用英语授课的课程的话，这边都可以找得到。
And One of the last slides. Oh, I want to show you. Yeah, it's basically about the living costs for students in Finland and in comparison to other popular European destinations. Unfortunately, the text is a bit blurry, so you can't see it. But basically, this is the most important line here, the average monthly spending in total. And as you can see, Finland, also compared to Netherlands, Germany, and UK, still comes out as being the most affordable one. So again, people like to believe that Finland is extremely expensive, but again, especially for student, it is not the case. Because as I said earlier, everything is basically subsidized for you.
很多人会认为说，在芬兰念书的话，会不会就是费用会很高呢？那他刚之前有提到过说，这个芬兰的话是许多学生可以负担得起的地方。那他这边提供一个就是分别的比较表，针对于说欧洲的其他国家啊，特别说像英国、德国跟荷兰啊，那可以看到说他们每个月所开销了，平均的话大概是芬兰还是最便宜的，大概600到900之间啊。那英国啊、德国啊什么都相当的比较贵。那另外一个话就是说，他们打工时数来讲的话，英国是20小时，德国1小时，比荷兰是16小时，但是芬兰的话可以到25小时，哈，这些都是对学生来讲，国际学生来讲都是相当友善的地区，哈。因为这是为什么原因呢？很多人为什么会这样子呢？因为芬兰他们政府单位对学生都有很好的照顾啊，所以希望说学生在念书期间呢，可以得到最好的照顾，让他们能够专心念书啊。所以许多费用的话都是政府有补贴的。
Yes, and the last thing that I want to say is very short about the student residence permit, because we got some questions about this earlier as well. So basically, what do you need to actually, when you have received an offer from a university in Finland, what you need to prepare is, well, of course you need the passport, that's maybe the most important thing, but otherwise you need to, of course, when applying for the residence permit, you need to show that you've got admission to a Finnish university. You also need to be able to show that you can cover your living expenses in Finland. And according to the immigration authorities in Finland, this amount is 6,720 euros per year. So you can either apply for the student residence permit for 1 year, or you can directly apply it for 2 years. So it's up to you. Then of course you need to be able to show that you've actually paid the tuition fee when applying. And the last thing is of course any health insurance. So you need to be covered.
在那个，如果说你拿到学生签证之后，如果拿到学校的那个入学许可之后，很多人会说，那我要怎么申请学生签证呢？那基本上的话就是说要有一个有效的护照，再来的话就是说，财力证明跟那个就是有关那个什么，你的那个保险啊，这都相当重要的事情啊。那财力证明的话，你可以申请1年或2年的哈。它这边有一个数字，就是1年的话就是6720欧元啊，1年，你可以算6720欧元的话，你乘以35，大概25万不到啊。好，那个的话是不是学到了？差不多吧，25万左右啊。如果你算这是7000，那个是35的话就是20，对啊。好，所以要不到25万啊。那所以这个话是相当优惠的地方啊。那你可以申请1年或2年，那就是看你个人。那再来的话就是一定要有提出有效的这个保险啊。那如果说你没有，就是说如果你在台湾有买保险的话，你要附上就是说英文的保险证明啊，让他们审核单位看一下说你这个保险是不是能够负担一些最低的一些情况啊。那如果不放心的话，就买欧洲他们所提供的保险啊，这是比较单纯的事情。所以这些是申请学生签证的时候需要注意的地方。
Yeah, and last but not least, well, this is some of the partner universities that we have in the moment in Finland. As I said earlier, this is not all the universities that we have. There are plenty more. And next, I'll give to Ari-Pekka, who will be talking more about Satakunta University of Health Science.
OK，这边的话就是有这么多所学校是跟Edunation 这个单位呢有做合作的啊，就是说他们有合起来做海外招生跟行销的。那他把以下时间就交给这个 SUM 这个学校的负责人啊，就是国际关系负责人的Ari-Pekka来为我们做介绍。对，那各位有什么问题吗？针对刚刚所演讲的内容有没有什么问题？ 要不要现在提问，还是说我们留到最后，大家先稍微记一下，那我们最后再一起讨论，这样好？